Welcome to the Exposure. So recently, Spac Nation's Toby Adeboyega decided to drop a series of interviews with a lot of his young pastors. And the first episode dropped, and the first person he interviewed is a young man called Ladi, who runs the Pulse Academy for Spac Nation. Now, we've exposed Ladi before about the whole Pulse Academy, but we'll get to that later on. So, we believe that the series is called 7 Minutes with PT or something like that. So Toby asked him a question about what his biggest achievement was, and he mentioned that two of his biggest achievement was a lot of the 11s that they have, all of the 11s that play for the Pulse Academy, basically all got nothing less than 5 A stars in the GCSEs. And he also spoke about one of his players who joined them at 15 and went on trial at Tottenham, and Tottenham did not sign him, but a few weeks later was signed by Leicester. And he said that was two of his biggest achievements. But what he failed to also say was that 15-year-old that was signed by Leicester is the younger brother of one of the main pastors at Spac Nation, known as CK or PK. Meaning, and this is also a young man who was already playing football for a decent amount of teams. So it's not because he joined the Pulse Academy that he went on to sign for Leicester. This is the hidden truth that he hasn't mentioned. But of course, you know what Spac Nation will do. Anyone who's doing well, they'll try to connect him to that particular business and say that he managed to achieve something because he was part of a Spac Nation business group. And in this scenario, he was apparently part of the Pulse Academy. But many people know that this is a young man who was already playing for a good team already prior to that. So it had nothing to do with the Pulse Academy helping him find a team. And then Toby also asked him how many players does he have. He mentioned that he has over 120 players, and that's because apparently the Pulse Academy goes different age groups, and also they've got a team in Nigeria also. And Toby also asked him, what does he think about people that... He mentioned there was some sort of issue regarding money when he started his academy that went viral, and what does he think about it? So in other terms, he's talking about the exposer exposing him. That's basically what Toby was saying. He didn't want to say it, but this is basically the question Toby was trying to indirect. What did you think about being exposed by the exposer? I think that's what Toby really asked him. And what Ladi said was, there's more successful people. Yeah, basically there's people more successful than him who have had things written about them. And he said some of the biggest people in the football organization or sports industry that he's involved in have been arrested before. So in other words, he was trying to justify his actions in the past, saying that compared to what he did, like, it's nothing, because bigger names and more recognized companies have had bigger issues than him. And Toby also asked him, what would he do if he didn't have his academy? And Ladi answered by saying he would be a fraudster. He mentioned that he would be a fraudster straight away. And he also mentioned that he had money problems with people in his area, and he was basically getting up to no good just before he started his academy, or when he started the academy. And he also said that when he met Pastor Sam, one of the biggest fraudsters and con artists at Spac Nation, that's when his life changed, because he said that Samuel Kokeg invited him to work for his company, Zuriel, which we've already exposed, which was a fake company, which was dissolved not long after being open. He said that's when his life changed. Now, that's some of the key points that I spoke about. But we just want to speak about this young man in particular, so that people who are new to this channel and people who don't know much about Ladi understand this thing. The Pulse Academy is a fake football academy. This is what people need to understand first and foremost. It is a fake football academy, and what happened is when Ladi created this academy, the reason behind this was a different method for Spac Nation to recruit more young people to attend, so that they can coerce them to become just like all the other leaders at Spac Nation. And also it was an idea for Ladi to make more money for the organization. And if people don't know, there was a BBC Panorama, and we won't mention names, but one of the guys who was on it had his young brother scammed, where they'd opened up a business account under that young man's name and took out a 2K loan from that young man's account. And we believe Ladi was actually the guy behind that, because that young man was basically invited to Spac by Ladi and was part of his football academy. And yeah, so do you understand what this football academy at Spac Nation was built on? Bringing a lot of young people who feel like they're there to play football and at the same time become Spac Nation members, so they understand the Spac Nation way and the Spac Nation way of giving and the Spac Nation way of taking out loans. And some of them were tricked by this young man. And this young man had issues where there's allegations where apparently he was chased or attacked by people he had scammed. So there's a lot of history behind this young man. And this is what his Pulse Academy is all about. And what he does with this Pulse Academy is he creates showcases where he lies to them that there will be many scouts from many professional clubs there. And of course, he would encourage the parents to pay money for their kids to go there and have this showcase. So, and of course, people need to understand, if you don't really know about this young man and you don't know about Spac Nation, it will be very easy to be fooled. Because again, he does the same thing that all the pastors at Spac Nation do in regards to their business. He will wear an expensive watch, come across like a successful young man that has a lot of money, that doesn't really need nothing from you, but that is in a way helping you. This is how they'll play it out. So this is the ideas that he uses. So for someone that does not know much about Spac, will just think this is just a football academy with a young, successful man who's helping them, you know. They don't understand the methods behind this Pulse Academy. So it's just another scam and another way of Spac Nation to gain more members and to gain more people. And you heard him say it openly from his mouth, he would be a fraudster. And guess what? He mentioned that the guy who changed him or changed his life, again, people need to understand, he never said it was Jesus, it was God. He says it's another man, Samuel Kokia, and who is by far, probably after Maramola, the second biggest con artist at Spac Nation. Another man who's been exposed. There's so many videos on him. We even had to do 2 exposing videos of this man because his level of conning people is just so bad. And this is apparently the guy who helped him changed. So you can see the system there. His leaders are con artists. So of course, they're still doing fraud. As we all know, it's been exposed, so there's nothing to even lie about. So these interviews is designed to make people think that basically Spac have a lot of young, successful members. But again, Toby failed to show that light. Because again, the people he's interviewing, most of us know these guys are not successful. These men are conning people to make money. And these men are using people to make the church grow. So, again, it's up to you guys if you want to go watch it. But it's our duty for people to understand. So if someone has gone to see this interview and believes that this man's doing something good, you guys will now have a better way of understanding by us breaking it down. So you guys know that this young man here is not an angel. This young man here is a guy who is exploiting young people for Toby Adeboyega, allegedly.